Alright guys, now welcome to the introduction to algebraic equations with algebraic fractions. So the first thing I should probably do is make it clear to you what an algebraic fraction is. So, let's think of what a fraction is. So a fraction is just like a number over a number. So really, look, algebraic fractions sounds very ugly, what's that? All it is just look, a fraction where there's like a X or a Y or a Z or an ABC, some sort of letter, basically a bit of algebra in there. So, if I all of a sudden stick an X in there, guess what? I've got an algebraic fraction. It doesn't matter if I put it at the top or bottom, so if that's still an algebraic fraction because this is a fraction with algebra in. And all an algebraic equation with, all an equation with an algebraic fraction is for example, say you had something like this. There you go. All of a sudden, now I'm trying to find the number, which if I replace x by and I times by 7 and divide by 8, I get 3. So that's all an algebraic equation is. You'll notice you haven't come across this so far if you've been following my the videos in order. Obviously, you will have at school or in past papers and stuff, but that's all it is. So let me just kind of tell you now the kind of questions which, hopefully at the end of this you should be able to answer. So you see stuff which looks something like this, so you got x over something equals 3. On the flip side, something which is harder, as you'll find out, is if it's on the bottom. That's still an algebraic fraction. Then you're going to have things like, algebraic fraction with a number equals something else. Then you're going to have maybe even much harder ones. Shows this rings a bell. Might even stick in a bracket there. So can you see like all this maths is just like building together? You're seeing it all over the place. And the hardest is probably when you've got two equations which have algebra on the bottom. It's alright. I'm writing 2x's everywhere, but there could have been easily 5x's, anything like this. Okay, so that's what we're now learning towards. So the first thing I have to tell you is that don't forget, all of these equations, they still follow the scales method. So the scales method, which I taught you in the earlier video, works. I want you to, whenever you see an equal, the scales is in action. So for example, if we look at this equation, this literally means this. Means that 5 divided by x is balancing perfectly with 4. And then we're going to do some special moves here and there to try eventually, as always with every single one of our aims, is to get x by itself, and then whatever comes on the other side comes on the other side. So that's what we're kind of going towards. So now the next step. Now again, do you remember in the last one how I told you about rewriting versus solving? And they're the only two types of algebra questions which you can get. It's still the same. Now, in the last section we learned that the rewrite stuff was simplifying terms, multiplying out brackets, factorizing. Well, there's also a rewrite element to algebraic fractions, and it's literally something like this. So imagine you were trying to join these two together. Yeah, so you can actually make this into one fraction. Now, so that's really going to be the rewrite stuff. So the way, like, if I give you an algebraic fraction with something else and you want to merge it into one. Yeah, so that's what the rewrite part of this section is going to be like. And it doesn't matter, I'm going to show you how to do it for times, divide, all of this stuff. And then you're going to see later on that will actually help you solve some of these equations. So, you're going to see this over and over again. You're going to see this over and over again. But I'll call it the end of this video, and now, now watch the rewrite videos and then watch the solve videos. As long as you got the videos before this in the last section, you understood when we're doing, the first time I talked about scales, this should be a piece of cake. All you're doing now is you're learning a brand new rewrite method, and then we're going to apply it to the scales. So, alright, end of video. So let's go on to the next one.